Well, coming up on All American People today, we're going to bone up on what it takes to come from Pittsburgh to Loris. Another one of those great stories of how someone just packed up the car and headed to Loris. I'm Jack Murphy filling in for Greg Everett on All American People. We got a good show coming up. Well, hello there. Welcome to the WLSC Tiger Radio Studios in downtown Loris. I get to hang out here all the time. Every once in a while, I get to see our guest who not only just drives through the light at the intersection, but actually honks as he does so. Good to see you, Doc.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
How you been, friend?
Real good, real good.
I spent a little bit of time on the Chamber of Commerce board.
Yes, sir. We served together.
You previously served as president, and now you're back in that role.
Yeah, second term.
Congratulations on that.
Well, thank you very much.
You didn't get enough.
No, it's very enjoyable. It's rewarding. It's a good job, and felt like I was needed.
You know, we were on a previous broadcast. We were talking about Grover Cleveland, who was president, and then took a little time off and got to be president again. So you're kind of like the Grover Cleveland of Loris.
How about that?
How about that?
That's one for the history books.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah. Is it history in the making over here with Loris? Things on the move?
Absolutely. Things are always on the move in Loris. We're a small town, but we're growing fast.
Well, let's go back in time a little bit.
Okay.
Before you decided, because there's no way growing up in Pittsburgh that you'd ever heard of Loris, South Carolina.
To the contrary, actually.
Oh, I've got to hear this story. There we go.
Well, family vacations were always Myrtle Beach. Always Myrtle Beach.
Sure. Okay.
I'm not quite sure what the place is called now, but it was always called the Surf Rider Inn when I was wee high. And that was the family spot, 2 weeks a year, every year. And so we'd eventually...
2 weeks at one time?
Well, yeah, Dad worked for U.S. Steel, so
I was thinking there was a union angle there. I'm like, who gets 2 weeks off? Wow.
Back in the day, before the demise of the steel mill industry in Pittsburgh, that was a thing. So we'd venture down to Myrtle Beach faithfully every year, and usually would pass through Loris. That's not quite how we got here eventually, but so it wasn't.
But you knew about it.
Sure,
well,
sure.
Chalk went up there.
Yeah, it's quite a coincidence that this many years later, come to live here and here to stay.
I was raised about 2.5 hours from here. Now I'd heard of the town because of the tobacco connection. Okay. But never came here until I was actually on my way to move to Myrtle Beach from the Raleigh area.
Well,
so you had one up on me.
Stranger things happen.
Yeah. So obviously a Steelers fan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This year was kind of hard to deal with.
Oh, come on! You still had a successful year.
Oh yeah, we have a great year, great team, great coach. All the Roethlisberger ins and outs and hype. He put that behind him, and we had a great season.
Moved on down the road, yeah.
Yeah.
Why can't the Pirates do that?
I don't understand.
I don't understand. Is it payroll? Because I think you could take like.
Some say that it's ownership. Some say it's they want to they're always trading players. That's the one thing about Pittsburgh you just don't understand. We got a championship hockey team, Penguins.
Sure.
They're in the hunt again this year.
Yeah.
Steelers, we're always at the top, but the Pirates, they just sometimes it's hard for them just to hit 500.
I don't know how you can just keep going back to 1979 and reliving that glorified season. I mean, the Barry Bonds years were pretty good with Andy Van Slyke, but
yeah. But one day they'll come up and.
Now, did you play baseball, football, hockey as a boy up there?
A little bit of touchdown, a little bit of everything. In Pittsburgh, in the area that I grew up, soccer was a lot bigger than it is here.
Come on. Soccer in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, for real.
Okay.
So
The area was no, I said the air had kind of cleared up a little bit by the time you were a tyke.
Yeah, yes.
Because was it really that bad? I heard stories that the sun would come out and there would be a haze over Pittsburgh. I've been. It's a beautiful city. I never even saw any indication of that.
When the factories, when the steel mills were pumping, yes, there was definite, distinct tinge to the air.
Well, is it because of that you guys got a bum rap? It's a beautiful city. I mean,
oh yeah, for the longest
awesome
time it was, the dirtiest city in America, and it was a bum rap. I mean, it's beautiful now.
Yeah.
You go there to visit, you'd be amazed.
But you played soccer.
Played soccer, played some.
Got hit in the head a lot, did you?
You're supposed to use your head.
Okay, okay. So you played a lot of soccer there growing up in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, a little bit of the other sports, a little bit of golf, a little bit of this, a little bit of that,
Sure.
So fit in for here. So now I'm a rec coach for soccer here.
Oh, okay.
Kind of carries it on, pass it on to my son.
You go back in time, though. I mean, it was a much more of a sacrifice. I mean, I go back and I look at all those coaches and stuff that were out there. For a lot of kids, that was kind of like their father figure, especially more so now. The coaches. But do you remember those guys who, was the parent of one of your friends or?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it always is, and kind of plays
so
true now.
Now that's kind of neat.
Taking up that next
Picking up
generation.
the slack.
Yeah. So since we moved here, I've had a team every year, and it's fun. It's the season goes quick. We moving up this year to the higher age group, so should be a good
now,
year.
is your business sponsoring a team and you get to coach too? Is that how that works? Or?
That's generally how they angle it.
Yeah.
You get to put your name on the shirt and you give them.
You get to buy the shirt?
In a roundabout way.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Without going into details. Yeah, you give them a little bit of the little green and they put a little name on it.
So that's kind of the way. Well, that's it. But that's how you market in small towns. That's kind of neat.
It's more just being out there and having a presence, knowing that you're dedicated to the kids and the community, because
but promoting your business is secondary
right.
when you do stuff like
Absolutely.
that too.
Just like Chamber of Commerce. I'm not there to promote Protz chiropractic. I'm there, to give back to the community because they've accepted me. I'm the outsider. I'm the Yankee in town that's come to stay. So.
Well, I'm glad you said Yankee before I did.
Well, I don't take offense to it.
Yeah.
Because most people don't have a negative connotation to it. That's just who you are. So, I'm proud of where I'm from. I'm not embarrassed of it.
Yeah, and I heard a story, just in passing, that we're almost at that point now in the county where folks that, and it's not necessarily Yankees because I fall into that group too, but people that have moved from other areas exceeds the number of people that I can see that happening.
Well, it's a great place to move to. I mean, if you go down to the Myrtle Beach anywhere, you look at the license plates. You see everywhere. You see New York. You see Pennsylvania. You see Ohio. You see this is a family-friendly, economical place to vacation. So why not, transfer to live down here? Last week we did Loris Community Night, and I got to speak and.
Down for the baseball team. Yeah.
For the Pelicans. We had Loris Community Night with the Myrtle Beach Pelicans, and I got to welcome the crowd and. Afterwards, just milling around talking to some folks. It's amazing how many people were out-of-towners, Pittsburgh people like myself, and just here to catch a game.
This area is full of Pittsburgh folks,
and it's so it's almost like second home. Well, it is home now.
Yeah.
So
well, going back, did you have any doctors in the family when you were growing up? I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I know why you got to be a chiropractor because it's all about the money. I mean, you guys roll in it.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to know how you got to be a chiropractor. And I'm not funny. I'm serious.
Well,
that's a nice tie right there, man. I like that.
I grew up around it. I can remember going to the chiropractor with parents, grandparents. That was just no different than going to the dentist or going to the eye doctor or going to the medical doctor. That was just one of the other, things that you had to do as a kid. I believe how the most influence was my mother's friend of the family who was the local chiropractor, and so that was the first introduction to it, and it just kind of phased in and out throughout my life, being around. Then I married into a chiropractic family.
Now we're cooking.
Now we're cooking. My father-in-law is
forget your mother's friend. Now we're cooking. You're married into it. That's what I want.
So my father-in-law is a practicing chiropractor in White Oak, Pennsylvania right now, and been in practice probably 30-some years.
Did you work with him?
No, never
How
once.
about that?
No. Never a day. Never had a Pennsylvania license, so graduated in South Carolina.
Now, where was chiropractic school for you? Where did you attend?
I attended 2 colleges, actually.
Okay.
I started at Life University in Atlanta, Georgia, and then transferred to Logan College of Chiropractic out in St. Louis, Missouri. So I did the first couple years in Atlanta, and then...
A lot of chiropractors come through Missouri.
Yeah, it's about the 3rd largest school. At the time, the school in Atlanta was the largest, and then Palmer College of Chiropractic, which began it with the Palmers.
Right.
They're number 2, and they're probably back to number 1 now as far as student enrollment and
there's a few chiropractors
matriculation.
down in Myrtle Beach, Surfside, that are graduates from Missouri.
Sure. I mean, those are the big players: Logan, Palmer, Life, and another one called Parker. So that's where you go if you want the good education for it. So got to spend a year Midwest and got to see some Cardinals games.
Here we go back on baseball.
Back to baseball.
Yeah, because you're not old enough to have seen the football team, the Cardinals in St. Louis.
No. They were the Rams when I was there that year. So getting back to chiropractic, it just was always in the background, and graduated from the University of Pittsburgh, and worked in a different field for a little while, and it just felt like something was missing. So, started talking with the family, talked with the wife, just started doing some homework, investigating, see what was potential, and it just made sense. It was, a reputable profession, can make a nice living, provide for family.
Money, just like I said. See how you kind of slid into that? Make a nice living. Right?
You can provide for your family, and you're in the community. You're small business, and going back to Dad, that was one of the things he kind of pounded in my head. Work for yourself, be your own boss, because one day what happened to me could happen to you. He was referring back to the steel mill and the closing of the steel mill.
That was interesting, though.
Going back to being laid off. The mill's closing, and you had this mass layoff.
Different perspective, yeah.
And he was like, if you're your own boss, then it's on you to make it or break it. It's not, you work hard and then someone pulls the rug out from under you for, not doing anything wrong. And that was, his mantra every so often. So it stuck, and here we are.
Well, you purchased an existing chiropractic office.
Correct.
Right. Now, when did you do that?
January 1st, 2006.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was pre-existing for, I think, 18 plus years as Nernstein Chiropractic.
Yeah, sure.
So
maybe been around a while.
Yeah, husband and wife team, and they're still here in town today, and doing bigger and better things. And so it was nice to come into established practice, and everything was up and running. Just had to show up and get to work. So that was a much better transition than just coming in and finding a location and then staffing it and
sure.
and then trying to make a name for yourself. It really helped getting into this community and being accepted here, because I had their good faith,
sure.
their good name behind me. Everybody knew the Nernsteins and knew the family and knew that they wouldn't just sell to any old dumb Yankee.
Yeah, any old dumb Yankee. Oh, come on now. But so, you kept the name there for, I guess, the first year, close to a year.
Close to a year. It was
kind of a smooth, slow
eased into it. Yeah, eased into it, and there's certain things that have to be changed, of course. So, but it made it for a nicer, smoother transition. People would call and looking to see who was there, and Mike stuck around for a little while. Dr. Nernstein, he was there for about 6 weeks, as he was phasing out, and I was starting to take over more of the patient load, and it just made it easier. And now we're...
Well, it's got to be rewarding for folks to come in, because I was one of those, I didn't really consider the chiropractic art quackery, but I did have my doubts.
Oh, sure. You deal with that every day.
You do.
I mean,
but I couldn't walk in 2007. I pinched my sciatic nerve. I couldn't walk for 12 days.
Sure.
It was terrible.
Sure.
And went to a chiropractor, and it was the craziest thing in the world. I mean, 30 minutes after I got adjusted one time, I started breathing differently. I stopped taking allergy medicine. You hear stories like that?
Oh, sure. You see stuff like that
It was crazy. I was
day,
taking allergy pills all the time.
I mean, the downside of it, there's not as much research into to show and spotlight all these different avenues of folks that have been helped by chiropractic, that have been touched by chiropractic. Chiropractic is, mechanical means to mechanical problem. Not to water it down, but if someone injures themselves in whether a lifting injury or a car accident or fall off of this or fall off of that, that's a mechanical injury. So it goes to serve, there's a mechanical fix to it, a hands-on approach, whether it be a soft tissue issue or joint mobilization. It gets to the root of the problem and fixes the cause, as opposed to subduing the symptoms with anti-inflammatories or narcotic pain medication.
Sure.
I mean, granted, most folks come in and they're taking those medications already, and I don't stress to them to stop them. I say, finish what you're doing. You're under good care from your medical doctor that feels you need this, and what we're doing is supplementing it, and the medication is going to subdue the symptoms in the short, but what we're doing is correcting the problem so there aren't long-term effects of it. So they marry well together. It's not a one or the other. It's it's a cohesion of both that really gets the patient well quicker.
And that's ultimately the goal.
Right. You're there for their benefit. Go
in for a consultation. I mean, is that essentially how it works at your office? I mean, call, set up an appointment.
Sure. New patients call and they'll come in. We'll do. It's very, very similar to going to your medical doctor for the first time. We're going to take a history. We're going to do examination. If there's a need, we'll take X-rays. If there's further needs, send you for an MRI or other upper level testing. Once we figure out a working diagnosis, then we can begin treatment and set up a treatment plan and get folks better. It's not just to come in, you lay down and adjust and out the door. There's got to be some methodology involved to this. You have to know why they're there, figure out what's going on with them, and is it something that can be addressed chiropractically?
Sure.
Or is it something that they're too far gone for your hands and they need the touch of a surgeon, or they need the touch of a pain management specialist. So it's on the continuum of care. We're just on the conservative end of care.
Sure.
We're not jumping right to the very end and cutting them open and taking out something that they could possibly use later on.
Right.
We're trying to slowly work them back into full function.
Well, when do you find time to do your work at the chamber? Because I was involved there for a while, a few years on the board, and man, there's some work.
Sure, but just like yourself, busy people find time all the time.
Sure.
They're the ones that make things happen. So, you just fit it in, and a lunch here, or after work meetings, and most of the chamber functions are on the weekends or evenings. So you find time. You make it happen.
I mean, we're looking. You started your practice here in town in 06, and 5 years later,
yeah, we hit the 5-year mark.
You're serving, your second term as president. So, were your family involved in the Chamber of Commerce growing up? I mean, or did you?
No. I'm really the first to kind of step out into that public service area, as far as in a community position. But it's enjoyable.
Well, Loris and Bloom is coming up. I mean, when you say Loris, most folks think Bog Off. I mean, you mention it, the other communities around the area. That's the big festival. But
sure, that's our.
Loris and Bloom is coming right along for a spring festival.
Yep, it's coming up on the 30th of this month. We hope to build it to be as big as the Bog Off. The Bog Off is our fall festival where we estimate anywhere from 30 to 35,000 folks come through town that day. Now the Loris and Bloom Festival hasn't grown to that magnitude yet.
It's in its second year.
Yes, will be our second year. It's a spring festival. We'll have it's the kickoff actually to our farmers market.
Okay.
We have our farmers market once a week. downtown, and this will be the kickoff to it. So we'll have all the regular farmers with their fresh produce and accoutrement, and also we'll have flower vendors and different arts and crafts that relate to the spring planting season and outside events. We'll have food vendors, we'll have musical entertainment, we'll have a children's area like we do for the fall festival. So it'll be a nice day. And we look to build this as a spring function for the city. So that'll be from 10 to 5 on the 30th.
It'll be an all-day event. A lot of fun.
All-day event, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Bring the kids, bring the strollers.
It's a free event.
Yes, sir. Free event. The children's area will have a little bit of cost to it. A few dollars, you can get a wristband, and they can jump on the inflatables all day long.
Okay.
So it's not a $10 for this ride and $5 for that ride. It's one price, and they could play all day.
All day.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Well, we've had some interesting players come about. I mean, where we sit used to be an empty bank across the street from us, and now that's a Bojangles.
Yes, sir.
It's good to have some franchise names here to kind of complement the mom and pops, which you are, and I'm involved in. Down the street, looks like we're going to be getting a Wendy's real soon.
Mm-hmm. Wendy's Hesco gas station.
Yeah, sure thing.
So yeah, we're growing. Loris is growing. We're not. We talked before in the past about how some of the other smaller towns around here are on the decline, where Loris is growing, and I think because we do have an active city council, we do have an active chamber of commerce, we do have businesses that give back to the community, that are involved and look to make this place better and to grow it for the next generation, for their children. Nobody wants to see Loris on the decline or boarded up. We don't want it just to be a pass-through town either on the way to the beach. It's its own entity, and it really is home. It really is a good town to bring your family and raise children and make a nice life here.
Hardee's has been here for a long time. They recently renovated.
Sure, looks great.
In response to their competition across the street. Hill's Grocery Store is going to be doing some remodeling from what I've understood. And, it is good.
Yeah.
Because I like business. Businesses advertise. And see, that's how I try to make a good living for the family. It doesn't pay as well as being a chiropractor, but
But that's the primary goal of Chamber of Commerce, is to promote growth and promote business and to try to encourage folks to relocate here for private residence, but also to relocate business here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our main function, is to grow the business community of the city of Loris, not to be a festival promoter and
exactly.
That's one of the side perks of the Chamber of Commerce, to have community functions. But our main goal and our driving factor is to promote business in the town and to bring new businesses to town. Support our members, but also encourage new membership. So that's what I see as my role in the chamber, is to tell folks this is a good place to bring a business. This is a good place to bring your family. We've got great schools. We've got a great government here. It's a proactive town.
Yeah.
It's a conservative town, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Oh, I fit in well with that model.
Absolutely.
I think you do too.
I believe we do.
Yeah. Good seeing you, friend. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were going to crack them, but it didn't happen that time. Good seeing you.
Thank you.
Hey, come back. We got more All-American People straight ahead. Well, folks, that's all the time we got on this edition of All-American People. Again, thanks to Greg Everett for letting me sit in his chair today. He'll be back real soon. And for now, thank you so much for joining us here at the WLSC Tiger Radio Studios. As always, a pleasure to sit down with our good friend, Dr. George Protz, Protz Chiropractor. In addition to being a business owner, out there on the forefront of bringing other business to town through the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, friend.
Thank you.